All right, we are back with another Ether Gazer video. We're going to be taking a look at this. Chat went ahead and sent me this. They informed me that somebody made a tier list for global. It looks like an unofficial, official tier list for global. I want to go and react to this and just kind of give my impressions. First and foremost, I do appreciate the individual that made this. I can't pronounce your name. I do apologize. I'm going to go ahead and try, though. Ketampanan. I know I butchered that. I'm so sorry. Massive shout out to you, my friend. This is amazing. Made 7 days ago on December 5th of 2024. I'll have this linked in the description if you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourself. I want to give my impressions on this. I found this to be very interesting because once again, like they mentioned, there isn't really a global tier list. Like every time we take a look at a tier list, it's the CN side. But I'm very interested in how people rate the global side when it comes to these modifiers and see if it's very similar to the CN side. Because a lot of times you take a look at the CN side, that gives you a good idea of what you're going to be doing for your own tier list on the global side. But let's take a look and see what they have to say. So we're going to read their little description here because I think it's only respectful to do that just to get a little insight on what they are thinking. And then we'll take a look at what they have here. So they say, as we all know, no global tier lists for AG have been made so far. That is correct, at least not officially, unofficially. We have been relying on CN's investment list. True. Which will, while helpful, oh, that is true. So, and that's another thing, like the CN side, when we take a look at it, it's an investment. It's so funny. They call it an investment list, which is essentially a tier list, right? Because you're going to invest in the best modifiers, which then in turn makes it a tier list, right? So it's very interesting. But yeah, they do call it an investment list, not necessarily a tier list per se. The difference, I'm not too sure. Which, while helpful, conflates so many factors into the rating that sometimes it's hard to judge the actual strength and causes certain stuff to be rated higher / lower than their actual strength. Now, what they can mean by that, just to give some context, is that the investment list is usually in regards to like teams, I would imagine. So like, for example, Kurimitsuha is going to be, you know, a modifier you do want to invest in because the ice team is very strong. When you do invest into her, which then puts Izanami on a very high tier list because then she benefits from that and the team in general. So that's, I guess, where the difference between the investment and tier list comes from. Not necessarily their individual strength on their individual kit, but the culmination of the kit as well as the team and sigils and all that goes into that, right? So I think that's what they're really referring to. All right, moving on from there. And because it's made by CN, we can't even ask the tier list creators for their reasoning of the placements. That, I think, is one of the best things that they just mentioned, which is 100% true, right? We can't really ask them per se, unless you can translate CN or speak it, you know, their reasoning behind it. So I think that's good. Even though on global, we start to get an idea, but yeah, that makes sense. So here I present you finally Ether Gazer's global version tier list. Okay, so this is officially unofficially. For this list, I am to represent each character's strength, flexibility, and value, along with listing their team composition and assigning a tier to the team comp as well. Okay, so it's very similar to the investment tier list on CN. Okay, it is based on clear times gathered in global and in CN, with the CN clear times adjusted to match that global already have. The criteria is specified in the list to make sure it is more consistent across characters, and it has been reviewed by several global ranked players. Okay. Most importantly, as this list is made by global side, if there is any assessment that you don't understand or disagree with, you can contact me directly. I can explain the reasoning for the assessment. Anyway, here's the list. Hope it helps. Once again, massive shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for doing this. It takes a lot, right? Like you have to take time out of your day to do this. So I do truly appreciate it. I have it pulled up here. A little blown up. So Ether Gazer global version, low investment tier list. Interesting. Read first. Okay. This list is rated. How many times have I said okay? This list is rated with base S mod at base S mods at SS R1 plus 2 and base A mods at Omega. Okay, so when they say base S, they just mean S rank mods. I'm like, I was getting confused there. And A rank mods at Omega R1 plus 2, which are achieved by low spenders and even free to plays who plan their pulls. That is true. This list only considers that we have on global. CN content and future speculations are not considered, which I hope they update this as they move on with future updates and patches. This list takes reference from various clear times. We already read that. But the rating is based on clear time, fast clear, standard clear. Okay, they tell you the times. Team flexibility, mods who can work well with various teams, so universal mods members options are more favorable. Yeah, because when you go ahead and invest into a modifier or you determine their strength, a lot of times flexibility being on multiple different teams is very helpful. This aspect is especially important for supports. Elemental supports who can only work well with one specific mods may be rated lower. I'm interested to see how that works out. I'm not looking at the list right now purposely. Value in the team, if the mod can be easily replaced by another mod in their team and still get similar, even better results, and it may be rated lower. I'm interested to see that. There may be other special considerations. Okay, has AKS module performance. Okay, the synchro buff is rated with AKS module completed. So, okay, synchro buff 3, regular pool, easier to transcend with RD shop, storm, minigames. So if they have, yeah, shards in the... Okay, let's take a look at what we have here. If you have questions, contact me. So we have tier 0. Ling Wong, I agree. Thoth, I agree. Izanami, I agree. I'm not going to argue there. S-Rank Ver, I am not going to argue there. S-Shu, they have in tier 0. What are the dots? Oh, here's the dots. Okay. As AKS modules performance rated. Okay, regular pool, transcendent RD. I'm not gonna argue with the S-Shu. I don't have experience with. I'm gonna be honest. S-Shu, I don't know. I've heard good things. Clear times. So they're not really taking into account like their ease of kit and stuff like that. So based off of their criteria and what they're stating, that, you know, I'm not gonna argue them on S-Shu. I'm not gonna argue them with S-Shu, but base S rank though? Oh no, double S. Okay, double S. Double S Shu. Fully synchro buff, Senkai buffed. Get it from RD shop. Purple intel conversion. I could see that being the case. I could see that being the case. Putting the right teams together based off of their criteria, yeah. Okay. Based off of their criteria, I can see that. Tier 0, I have no qualms with the 4. The last one I just don't have any experience with, so I can't say. But the first 4 I have no qualms with. That is, to me, accurate. I'm not going to argue with any of those. Tier 1, Hera, I agree with. I agree here as well. So Neiroy, I agree. Lu Liang. Let me get back to you on that one. Kurimitsuha, yeah. Shinri, yeah. Dark Kagasuchi, yeah. Flame Tier, yeah. Gung Chen, I agree. So this is what's interesting to me personally. Hades, S-Shu being above Hades, fully synchro buff. I'm thinking of teams. Like, does S-Shu really outperform Hades? Because you can get Hades intel right as well. Yeah, you can get Hades intel. She's fully synchro buffed. Double S, the team. I'm thinking of the team as well. I don't know, that one's pretty interesting. Ji Ming, Ying Zhao. Ying Zhao is one I might question a little bit. Gotti, fully synchro buff. Jin Woo, A Heimdall. Aver in tier what? Really? Aver? I don't know. I might have to question that one. It's Aver is kind of interesting. I'm not too sure about that one. That one I would have to see the reasoning for Aver being there, because once again they're taking account like that. So universally, yeah, I mean, I guess she could be on multiple different teams, but would you actually slot her on multiple different teams? Is a good Thunder support and works well with S-Shu and Shinri. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I would have to see a team with her. Once again, I don't have too much experience with Aether on teams. I would have to see her in a team fully kitted out. I mean, yeah, I guess she could do some work. I guess she can do some work. Lu Liang, I would put up here, yeah, just because of her pure supporting capabilities. It's just that strong, right? For the win team, just purely that strong. Ying Zhao, we could put up here as well. Like, if you're really cracked with Ying Zhao, I think Ying Zhao is more of a skill thing, though. Like, if you're cracked with Ying Zhao, yeah, but if you're not, and you're just button mashing with her, then no, I wouldn't put her tier 1. So, yeah, those are fine. I'm okay with those. Okay with those. Tier 2, we have Sekhmet, we have Thor, Espizembo, Athena, Living Solo Set. Okay, these last 4, that's fine. I don't know. I don't know. I find it a hard time to put. It would be some testing I would have to do for myself, but I have a hard time seeing Thor, Bizembo, and Sekhmet below Aether. Is that crazy? Am I wild for thinking that? I feel like that's not a wild take. It could be. But seeing Sekhmet, Thor, and Espizembo, I mean, even Athena and Jinne, to a degree, Osiris as well, but below Aether is it just has me a little puzzled. Has me a little puzzled. Like, if you want to put Aether in tier 1, I feel like these 4, I would even stretch it to 5 and 6 in tier 1 as well. Me personally, because I find that a little hard to believe. And then we have Asura. A-rank Tsukiyomi being this high is interesting. Being on the same tier as Bastet and Hermes, I guess, could get the job done, right? Being on the same as Asura as well is pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Moving on from there. So tier 2 and tier 1 is pretty interesting. Those tier 3, we have Poseidon, Hell, Light tier, Anubis. Oh boy, Anubis down here. Kagasuchi, Mengzheng down here. Look at the gentlemen's all in a row. Mengzheng, Marduk, Oceanus all in a row here. This is crazy as well. They did her dirty. It's sad to say they did her dirty, unfortunately. Ao Neyroy, Bazembo. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And then in the final tier, we have these individuals, which is sad. The boy Croc. So back all the way at the bottom. Your boy Apollo. Thank you, Bo. Kali. It's a shame Kali's down here as well. Good thing she has an S rank. Kingu. S rank Kingu at some point. So all of these, S ranks eventually at some point in time. Yeah, interesting. So I mean, all in all, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Like, this tier list, I don't think it's bad. For me, there's just some questionable takes, but at the same time, it just might be because I don't have enough playtime with them, or I just don't have them maxed out to where they have them to be able to give a good take, or have the proper team put together for them. But like, for example, tier 0 is fine with me. Tier 1's a little sus with that Aether, in my opinion. Tier 2 is sus just for me all around. Just with these 5 or 6, I feel like they should be tier 1. Little sus. But I mean, all in all, I respect the tier list. I would love to see this moving forward, how it changes, how it updates. I would love to continue to give my opinion on this tier list. I want to get more time with specific modifiers. It's just, once again, when it comes to Aether Gazer, we've been talking about this in chat on the live stream, the resources, you just you can't divvy up enough resources between the modifiers to be able to test them all, have them fully maxed out, and be able to use them all in game properly, right? It's an impossibility in this game. So like Aether, I can't give a good take on fully maxed out. SU, I can't give a good take fully maxed out. These modifiers I can, just because I've used them, and they're at a comparable point to where I feel like they should not be below Aether, but that's just me personally. But other than that, I respect the tier list. I will like to see this updated in the future. Let's move over to here, where we have the Aether Gazer team composition recommendation. Composition is based on data gathered across global and CN server, with CN data adjusted for current global patch. Tiering is based on testing 8 clear time at double S and then +2. Okay, alternatives are viable. So yeah, physical team's cracked. I'm just gonna be honest with you. This physical team is absolutely cracked on global. They're OP. So I agree with this at tier 0. Yeah, tier 0, the ice team, 100%. Tier 1, the Tianwan team or fire team, I agree. The light team, tier 0, yeah, with Ling Wang, I agree as well. If you have a decked out Hera, you have a well-invested Ling Wang, and you fully max out your Aether, this team is cracked as well. This team cooks. Absolutely. So I guess this is where this team comes from. Tier 0. I guess that's why Aether is so high. That's so interesting. I would just think there would be another individual here in this spot, but I guess Aether gets the job done in this team. That's so interesting. I would have to see some gameplay on that. T1, I like this team a lot. I think that team cooks. Then we have the Thor SU team. Aether here as well. Okay, I can see why they put her in tier 1 now. Just because the universal, the universalness. If I could say that word, if that's even a word. And then I guess their usefulness in those teams. The Shadow team, now I suspect this would change once Celine drops and we switch out Ling Wang for Celine. I would assume this will jump up to tier 0. T1 for the win team, I like it. T2, yeah, it's just a bunch of supports on a team. T2, just Giga buffing Osiris. T1, now this is gonna be great. We just depending on how I put these videos out, we had the reaction at 3.9 for S Heimdall. So once again, Ling Wang getting replaced by S Heimdall. Depending on how good she is, I could see this team really jumping up as well into T0. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I have no arguments. T1 for the Flame team, Kakasuchi. This is the alternative ice team. T1, alternative physical team, T2. I have no arguments here. I think this is pretty accurate. Once again, I have no experience with Giga buffed SU and Aether. I have no experience there. Apparently they're cracked, I guess. Once again, I'd have to see some gameplay. Shinri Tsukiyomi getting Giga buffed. I guess this team is pretty cracked as well. I would have to take a look and see. But all in all, I really enjoy this, and I want this individual to continue doing this if they wish to continue doing this. I think this is great. Let me see what some of the comments says. Good list, which does match the basic consensus from the CN side. Maybe the tier 1 is too crowded and would benefit from being split into tier 0.5. T1 too crowded? I don't think so. SU stocks might be slightly overinflated. I don't know, chat. Granted, she is really good at clearing A because bosses are aggressive, but Jinwoo and Hades aren't as far behind as the tier list would make it appear. That's what I was saying. My thoughts were the same. Like, for example, Hades. Where was Hades? In Hades T1? Yeah, like that's what I was thinking. The same thing. I was thinking the same thing. Both are consistent in clearing, yeah, are cheap to build and best slots. Yep. Tier 0 should probably be reserved for Ling Wang and modern DPS units who don't need double S. Thoth, Vert, Izanami. I like their thought process from personal experience. Shinri, Bazembo, Ling Wang team doesn't clear faster than triple ult chain. Okay. Jinwoo is very far behind, thinking she can't comfortably clear without decked out Ling Wang. I'm suspect. Okay. Is way behind. People are just used to triple S. Yeah. List mostly checks out. Most of the weird placements are probably double S versus triple S. R5. I honestly think Ling is even too high. She's not that impressive at only. Well, I disagree with that. I think she's still highly impressive. I don't fully agree with that. We've collected clear times and based the list on that with the teams. Okay. Shu clears in under 2 minutes, so she qualifies in the fast clear times. It's pretty much the same clear time as Tryhard, Izanami run, while Hades and Jinwoo did not. You're right, they are consistent at clearing 8. That's why they are put in tier 1, which is considered standard clear. Personally, I don't understand why having / or not having AKS should be taken as a point. It just rates what the character is capable of regardless. Okay, so I'm glad they went ahead and cleared that up based on time. Sure, that's fair enough, and I get that the emphasis of the particular list is unit strength based on the clear speed. By the way, you're right, the T1 is a bit overcrowded brackets, and clear time criteria may change in the future with more power creep. Okay, so yeah, they're just looking at being super optimal. Ling Wang working overtime. Yeah, she is. She is working overtime. Okay, so yeah, it's just based on clear times and how well they do it. All right, I respect it. Anyways, this has been long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. I appreciate each and every one of you. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name's Cody. You call me further. I'll see you all next one. Bye, guys.